All right, folks, we are live with Lonzo, the president of the. A little different today, folks. I got a show along with some other folks in the future. But today we got my one of my favorite guys. I've talked to him off before he became a president, before he became a city councilman. He's back again today, folks. The city councilman for the 3rd district of the city of Compton, Mr. Jonathan Bowers. How you doing today, Doc? Can you hear me? Let me check something right quick because I don't hear you. How about now? Can you hear me? I don't hear you though. That's the problem. Hold on there. Let's get it worked out. Let's get it worked out.
All right.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
All right, we good?
We are all good, Doc. We are all good.
Okay.
Check one more thing here, and we'll be extra good in 1 second here. That's the only thing about sometimes having too much technology. There you go. Doing too much. All right, how you feeling today?
I was a little under the weather, but I'm good now.
Good. You know, this show here is live. I'm doing something different. I'm trying to expand the audience here for the city of Compton, make some things a little more convenient. But I'm glad you came on today, and we're going to talk about Compton, the 3rd district, which is your district. Some of the improvements you've made since you became the city councilman, and let's give folks an update on the state of the 3rd district.
Ooh, there's a lot going on here.
Talk to me.
Let me step 1 second.
Take your time.
I got some notes.
All right, there you go. Get his paperwork together. I love it when we have it come together. You're live with Lonzo, the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce, folks. We are awaiting Jonathan Bowers to come back to his seat. Here, he gets his notes for his, I guess we're going to call this the State of the District address.
Okay. All right. So I'll give you a few of the items that covered. And I presented this at my town hall meeting. So, you know, one of the things that I ran on was transparency, public safety, and financial accountability.
Okay.
So what has been accomplished since I've been here? Transparency has improved in spite of the state audit findings. Our accountability is struggling to improve, but we're moving slowly. Our new city manager is very aware, and I'm really pleased at his performance thus far, and the fact that he sees a lot of these issues and has a plan to help steer the city in the right direction.
Okay.
At the finance committee, so I've been a part of creating, reviewing, and implementing new internal financial control policy. Last year, council members, we went to Sacramento to request bridge, and we received $13 million for that. And as you know, the bridge is currently under construction. I was responsible for getting the automatic external defibrillators placed in City Hall and other city facilities, also adding what we call Stop the Bleed kits. As you know, we've had mass shootings around the country, and you know, in schools, grocery stores, et cetera, et cetera. And Compton, you know, we've kind of been lagging behind, and we need to catch up and have our city prepared. Our employees should be aware and trained of how to deal with this, and citizens also. Our community emergency response team training has resumed with our fire department. I developed an emergency preparedness guide that has been placed on the city's website, along with a QR code for the booklet and a QR code for the code red alert system. So you would be notified in the event of a significant incident. And like today, as you know, we had an earthquake today that was centered in Malibu. I don't know if you felt that. It was actually pretty significant.
Oh yeah, woke me up.
Yeah, it's not a question of if, it's when we're going to get a good one. You know, it's coming to that, and we have to be prepared. we have to continue to provide information and so on for our citizens. Kind of switching reels. Again, I'm really pleased with our city manager thus far, but we were prepared for this last storm. He sent out the information for sandbags, sand, had public works out in the streets. They had our emergency operations center activated. And this is essentially unprecedented. We haven't had that as city manager. So this is a big deal. You know, we're going in the right direction. I mean, for him to take that initiative and not have to breathe down his neck. So he really sees he sees the need and he's taking action. So I love working with him thus far.
Okay.
I've held several disaster preparedness meetings in the past, but the attendance has declined. And we're gearing up to have a huge disaster drill. First time in the city of Compton. Well, more than likely it's going to be after the election because there's a lot of stuff going on because of the upcoming election. But it's going to be an awesome drill, and it's inclusive of all the people here in Compton. It'll include we're going to have police, fire, code enforcement, parking enforcement, Red Cross, the airport, the Compton School Police, Compton College Police, block clubs. It's going to be the first of its kind. And we'll also have Coast Guard, and we plan on having LA City and LA County helicopter rescue down here as well. But it's going to be awesome, and it'll be a whole new vision for the city of Compton. Public safety is paramount here, and we've lost control of the city essentially, and we have to regain control of this community. That being said, we have three major events coming up. We have the World Cup, the Super Bowl, and the Olympics coming up. And we have to prepare for that, not only from a public safety point of view, but Compton needs to cash in on that. You know,
yes.
We need to benefit from that.
Yes.
So the public safety is a must in order to attract those entities that will help bring money and positive business and direction here and attract people here for a positive, side of that. So, and this is a big deal. Other cities are already on the go. They're already moving forward, getting ready for the Olympics. We need Compton to be just flooded with people from the around the world. Come to our city. What do we have to offer? We need some eateries. We need entertainment. We need all of it, And I'm actually pushing to start an Olympic Development Commission that would consist of obviously some Compton residents, Compton businesses, et cetera, some people with that vision that can provide direction to the city council and moving forward to
how can I be down?
You get on that commission, bro. All
right. Okay. Now, I got to say something. You and I, like I said, I interviewed you before you became a city councilman in the city of Compton. Yeah. Came on the show. I wish you luck. You won the election. But we reconnected right after the Super Bowl, the 2022 Super Bowl. We were both speaking at an elementary school in Los Angeles.
Yes. Yeah,
and we would, I knew you, but we didn't have a chance. We never had a chance to talk in person yet. And you expressed to me something that inspired me to create the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce. Okay, because you said it yourself. All that exposure in the city of Compton, and we didn't get a dime out of it. Okay, we got a great exposure. You couldn't ask for a better opportunity to rebrand the city, but we didn't get that. And this is why one of the reasons why I formed the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce, so that we can focus on some of the things that Compton has to offer. And I'm gonna give you take my hat off to you for that one right there. Much love.
Thank you.
Okay, you see what I see when it comes to Compton and the brand of Compton. I got to tell you this story. It's a true story. Over off of Willowbrook and Alondra, there's a little store called the Compton Store. Okay, and a friend of mine, she runs the store, and the whole summer she asked me, Lonzo, could you put some books in the store for me? I want to sell your book. No problem. She stocks my book in the store. I give her 10 at a time. All summer long, I was on the phone. She would call people up. Hey, Lonzo, so-and-so is here from Finland. So-and-so is here from Denmark. So-and-so is here from Germany. I spoke to so many people from different parts of the world that just wanted to come to Compton and see what it was about. And we need to give them something to come and look at. We need to give them something a reason to hang in Compton, and that's something that the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce is looking to help bring.
Well, yeah, and I know you and I have talked about that, and you've been an inspiration as well because you keep my wheels turning. When we talk, it just generates more thoughts and ideas. On how to on how to do that, how to attract those people from around the world to come and see Compton. Compton has a rich history that dates way back. We're
Yes.
talking the early 1800s. And if you really dig, you can look back to the late 1700s on up to now. Compton has a lot of history that people don't realize. And, even surrounding the community, like I recently learned this, that I don't know that there's a street right here in Carson. It's called Charles Willard. And
Yeah.
then the other, that's named, there was an airport right over there back in the days. I had no idea.
Okay.
And those guys were pilots and what have you. Glenn Curtis and Charles Willard.
Okay.
And the airport was right over there. So just this whole area is just full of history. But I think one of the projects that I would like to see is just our Heritage House and pumping life back into it. Because back in the days, it was like a little museum, and you could have weddings and stuff there in the lawn and what have you. But that building should be restored, and we should have kiosks, like in the different, maybe the Dollar High, but right now I'm just speaking of the Heritage House. We should have kiosks in there that tell the history of Compton, and it should be in different languages. So when visitors come, they can hit that button or whatever, and it's just a loop, and it just continues and just takes you from the 1800s to now, of where Compton is. And that's just one of the ideas, but we've just.
And I think one of the things that you kind of froze there for a minute. One of the things people don't understand, a good idea sometimes take a long time to develop. This time last year, I was on a group we called it Great Out of Compton, and we sat and spoke with. I was able to meet with people from the city of Compton. I was able to meet with they call them stakeholders in Compton, and we learned the process of getting things done in Compton. It takes a while just to get streets paved, not because it takes forever, but it's a lot of procedures that have to take place in order to make get the streets. I was just talking about the streets, how it takes time to plan things out in the city. It usually takes 6 months to a year just to plan something basic because of the various procedures that have to take place. You just can't go out there with and fix potholes without having a plan. Somebody got to pay for it. Okay, so exactly. Could you explain that? Help people understand how the city of Compton works? And I think that's one of the things that people don't understand, especially when they come to the city council, always mad about something. Explain to them how that works.
Well, I mean, the short version is this. You got to understand, it wasn't always this way in the city of Compton. There's a process for everything. And unfortunately, the process gotten broken here. It is being fixed, and it's getting back on track, and it will be more efficient. So things can get done. It shouldn't take as long as it does for some things, but unfortunately, that's where we're at. And you have to... you got to pull out those bad apples. There's a lot of hands in this. It goes from one department to the next department to the next department, and there's some deficiencies in there. That state audit right now, that's kind of like our, what should I say, roadmap, if you will. Okay. And people have to look at that, and that shows where things went sideways. It's not going to fix overnight because it took about 20 years to get that way. And unfortunately, we all fell asleep. We were asleep at the wheel and ran into a ditch. So now we're back on the road. And I can assure you right now, there's some positive things happening. We have until the end of this year to have made some significant improvement in this city. We have till December of 24. That's not much time.
When you say improvements, what do you mean?
with respect to those audit findings.
Okay.
People have to understand we had 300 audit findings. Those are essentially 300 bad marks. 300. That's not normal. I mean, cities get audit findings, but not 300. So right now we're more than half. What we fixed about a little more than half of those.
Explain to us what that is.
What an audit finding is, essentially it's a negative assessment, if you will. So for example, I'll give you an example. Every city has to turn in a housing plan. They have to turn in a water plan. They have to turn in a sewer plan. These are required, mandated for every municipality. They have to turn this into the state of California. So, for example, the reason why you have to submit a sewer plan, because it gives the health of your sewer system, that you've been on top of it. Because the sewer system, it gets old. Compton has a very old sewer system that dates way back to where some of the pipes are wooden. You know, we literally, oh yeah.
Well, you said wood?
Wooden pipes.
Wooden pipes. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So we recently had some sewer collapses over in East Compton and what have you, which caused, because it collapsed, that means it wasn't maintained. That plan had not been adhered to, if it was even submitted. So it got away. The sewer collapsed. Now you got to fix it, which is going to cost more than it would have if you'd have just maintained, stayed on schedule.
Right,
so it didn't. So you're talking some millions of dollars to fix it, which pulls money away from other things, that need to get done. So the sewer plan is major, because now, with respect to development, you can say you want to develop all you want. It's not going to happen if you don't have an adequate sewer system. It can't happen, because I know one of the projects that they were pushing was a 300-unit apartment on the corner of Santa Fe and Compton Boulevard. I was not for that for many reasons. Not that I want the development, but you have 300 units. High density housing puts a major stress on your public.
We temporarily have a little freeze in there, but he'll be back in just a second. It's gonna be all right. You're live with Lonzo, the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce. We're talking with Jonathan Bowers. We are live, folks. That's why we may have a little glitch. Maybe one of those infrastructure things, maybe to get a better internet signal. As he sits there and freezes a little bit, we're going to keep on talking. I got some questions for him. He'll be right back, folks. Don't go nowhere. He'll be right back. But in the meantime, I'm still here. Like I said, this Lonzo Williams, the Godfather, the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce, folks. We are talking to Jonathan Bowers. Like I said, he's right back. All right, there you go, Doc. Okay. No problem.
So when you don't submit these plans and things on time, what it does, I mean, it's a domino effect of problems. So now you're not eligible for certain funding and what have you, because you didn't stay on top of this. The state is not going to hand you money for XYZ because you didn't take care of business over here.
Okay.
So it's imperative that you submit your stuff on time. So those were audit findings, and that's not good. If your water plan is not submitted on time, all these things equate to dollars. Okay. And the state has to oversee us because it's public monies.
I got a question for you. How does Compton have any type of resistance or a program that would maybe welcome something like container homes? There's something that's even possible in the city of Compton. I'm seeing them popping up all over LA. I'm seeing them.
All of it's possible. All of it's possible, Alonzo. We need people with a vision, though. Because, unfortunately, you have a lot of antiquated thinking throughout the city. The people, I know exactly what you're talking about, but you got people with a vision. They see the future.
Right.
Let's change directions. Let's get off of this road. It's really not taking us anywhere. Or it's like being on the freeway at rush hour. All we're doing is just creeping through. We're not moving.
Right.
All of it's doable. We have a planning department that is woefully antiquated,
Okay.
And we need some new blood in here, people that want to take the initiative, that want to push these things through. This is what Compton needs. The dinosaurs, they're dinosaurs. Go and retire, man. Go knit your grandkids a blanket or something like that. We want some people with some energy, man, and want to see it happen. we don't need a new Compton. We just need to fix what we got.
Okay.
You know, but everything you're saying, I mean, you're absolutely right. We should be looking at that. Unfortunately, you know, it's a struggle, but we got people looking at things like, for example, people will be mad at me for saying this, but like the Olsen development, there's a million other things we could have done with respect to development. And I mean, even housing, there's plenty of other things we could have done. That's not the only type of development available out there.
Okay.
Container homes, they are pretty fabulous. I mean, the things they've done with containers these days, they're amazing looking, you know, and that kind of stuff we should bring to the city, you know, just a diverse landscape, you know. Let's get out of the old ways.
Right there on Imperial and Broadway, they must be stacked up about 4 high. Okay, nice development. Another one on Crenshaw and like 60, I think it's 60 something right past Florence.
I know
Area.
exactly what you're talking about. They're beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, you don't know what you're looking at. In fact, on Avalon and before you get to 120th, there's a container complex over there that I pass by all the time. I'm like, wow! I watch you put it together. Very impressive. Aesthetically, it looks beautiful. I've been in some of these things before. They're small, but again, you know, you're talking about 4 maybe 450 square foot of space, but they have everything you need that could get somebody off the streets. Okay, and that's the main thing: getting people off the streets. Speaking of off the streets, how is Compton's homeless situation? Is he frozen again? I think he might be frozen again, but he'll be right back with us like always, folks. We gotta upgrade that Compton internet service so we can get a consistent show here. It's my first time doing this, folks. Bear with us. But you are live with Lonzo, the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce. We are here with my man Jonathan Bowers, the city councilman for the 3rd district of the city of Compton. He'll be right back. What I tell you. Our next infrastructure thing, John, we're gonna get a better internet service in the city of Compton. Okay.
So yeah, we want to do citywide Wi-Fi. So anybody can connect. You know, you'll have a good signal and so on and so forth. And you know, a lot of stuff now is based on the internet. So we need to upgrade.
Okay. If you had a wish list of what you like to see happen in Compton in the next, I'll say 90 days, what would you be trying to do?
The next 90 days, honestly, is to get a handle on the public aspects of the public safety.
Okay.
Because we can't really move forward without getting these things handled. And I don't necessarily mean just police and fire. That's inclusive of public works and what have you too. You know, like we're talking about the potholes, but you said earlier you have to plan. What I've learned here is that there hasn't been a legitimate plan. It might have been a plan in somebody's mind. They think they're doing the right thing, but I mean, a plan, there's a lot of layers to a real plan. If you're talking about looking at, let's just say the next 5 years, what are the steps to that, getting this accomplished? As you can see, it's a struggle to get certain things accomplished. You know, I've sat down with some of these individuals and I've determined, so wow, you really don't have a plan.
Okay. And he's frozen again. All right, folks. This is on the other end. We'll be right here when he unfreezes and comes back with his conversation. We'll continue the conversation, folks. You're live with the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce. We are here with Jonathan Bowers, the councilman for the 3rd district of the city of Compton, and we have a little glitch in here. We live, folks. We are live. So this is why this is our first time doing this. We see there may be a glitch in the matrix over in the city hall, but he'll be right back. Trust me. Don't go nowhere. My few people that I'm watching, don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. And there he is. All right, there we go. Who is y'all? Go ahead.
Well, no, I'm just saying we have to, you know, planning is a huge problem. But anyway, you said in the next 90 days, I would really like us to see us turn up the effort to improve public safety. So another case in point, I mentioned public works, but another case in point with the intersection takeovers, I introduced that proposed ordinance about 2.5 years.
It's getting kind of fast here now. I want to hear this one right here. He's frozen again, folks. Unfortunately, well, he'll be right back. Just give us a minute here. We're trying to do something. It's going to take a minute to get some of the bugs out of here, but we're going to hang in this, folks. I want to hear from all the various politicians, the department heads in the city of Compton. We call this the Compton Connection, folks. The Compton Connection, and I'll be doing this once a week, God willing, and I'll be interviewing various people from the city of Compton, department heads, elected officials, some prominent people in the city of Compton, just like I did back in the day on Issues in the Hood. All right, so Jonathan Bowers is reconnected. All right.
Okay, so so this ordinance, if you're caught in Compton, you're going to lose your car. And that
is it permanent or just a short period?
No, it's gone. It's permanent. Initially, what it was 30 days.
Okay.
That didn't seem to get their attention. So there's some other cities that have adopted the ordinance where you lose your car. It's forfeiture of your car. And that's what we're just waiting to get it out to vote on it here in Compton and implement it. So
now, is that a citizen vote or is that a city council vote?
No, council. That's a council vote. We do ordinances. That's what the council is supposed to do. Legislation.
Okay.
We're.
He is on a roll too, folks. We got to get a better internet service in Compton. He is on a roll, and I want to hear what he got to say. And I know you do too. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna reconnect soon as he drop out and come back in, folks. I can't apologize. It ain't my fault, but hey, it is what it is. We're trying to bring some communication to the city of Compton, folks, right here at the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce, courtesy of the Compton Channel, Compton Entertainment Channel. We are live with Jonathan Bowers. He'll be right back. Don't go nowhere, folks. Don't go nowhere. He'll be right back. We gotta get this infrastructure, especially this internet, tightened up. Now you on a roll right there, man. You got cut off again. I don't think they want you to tell that story. Go ahead and talk about that right quick.
So a week or so later, we show up at your house with some paper and say, you got any personal things you want to get out your car? Go ahead and take it.
Wow.
Tow truck comes up. It's a wrap, man.
What city's doing that now that you know of?
Pico Rivera is one of them.
They taking cars.
They're taking your car.
Okay. They taking the cars after the fact? I mean, even like you said, they come to the house.
So it's a couple of ways to do it. So, and I believe the other was Burbank. They're not even chasing them down anymore. They get their information. And everybody thinks it's cool. Then you see the tow truck and the cops show up at your house a few days later. And you could live in Arizona. Once they got you, you locked in. That's it. They show up and they come and take your vehicle. Judge signs the paperwork that authorizes the city to take action. And they'll notify that law enforcement agency and they roll up on your house or wherever that car is registered to be, and it's confiscated. So other cities are starting to adopt that, and it apparently it's starting to get people's attention, The other thing now, the state is chiming in because they've been having shootings at these takeovers and what have you, and it's really gotten out of hand. So the governor's looking at some things too, but on a local level, we don't have to wait for the state. We can do our own thing here.
Okay.
And that's what I'm proposing. So it's things like that. All we got to do is simply vote on it and get it in motion. So it gives us. Okay, so the sheriff's rules are there under their penal code, the state penal code. They can seize your car, but only for 30 days.
Okay.
Under the city's municipal code. And that's what this is, this ordinance, this code and ordinance. This is cities.
Okay.
We can confiscate your car permanently. So if the sheriffs go and get their car, they can hold it for 30 days, and then 31 days it belongs to the city of Compton.
Okay. Now, another question. With that being one of the problems in Compton, along with the prostitution. Now, they said, according to what I've heard from the various sheriff deputies, that because the state has implemented certain laws, that it makes it difficult for them to pursue prostitutes in the city of Compton, or in period. How is there anything that the city can do to, actually override that? I know you can't override the state issue, but is there anything the city can do from a municipal standpoint that could assist with that as well?
Lonzo, everything that goes on in this city, our municipal code addresses everything that goes on in this city, even prostitution. The city can take action because it's illegal to loiter for the purposes of selling sex. I mean, you can kind of tell they're selling something. I mean, sitting out
Right,
there
right, right.
naked and what
The
have you.
damn sure ain't
You
cookies.
know, so we don't have to allow them to stay there. You
Well,
know,
they're
we can pull
victims.
up and
They're
say, move
victims,
on.
though. They're victims. They're victims of human trafficking.
So that's a good point. You have another good point there. So we actually, and this is coming out too. I have a young lady that has a nonprofit that actually deals with that. So we're going to be hitting the streets soon with her as well. That's going to be another. I'm gonna have an expose soon. It's coming out soon. But we want to offer them some alternatives, not simply take them to jail or whatever, because obviously something's going on while you want to stand out on the streets naked and do your thing. So, they may need shelter. Obviously they need to make money, or they may be trafficked, but being pimped. And so we need to provide them with some alternatives as well, education, training, shelter, and so on and so forth, and just some protection from their pimps. And we can offer those other services. I think just traditionally or historically we looked at prostitutes as bad people. And they're still people no matter how you slice it.
Okay.
And they've essentially fallen on some bad time, and it may be due to drug use as well. But we need to offer them some drug rehab.
Okay.
We have to offer them alternatives.
Okay. I can agree. I can see that. That's a good thing. But when I hear them talk sometime, it seems like their hands have been tied, and because they're victims, they have the right opportunity to create new victims through their victimhood. You follow me?
Absolutely. But Alonzo, I look at it this way, man. If there's a will, there's a way. You can't tell me. I hate hearing we can't do it.
I ain't mad at you.
It's just not. If you could send a man to the moon, they done sent people to Mars and beyond. And you telling me you can't get the girl off the street corner?
And well, here's my next question. I know city officials in Carson. Carson don't have a prostitution problem. They same sheriff, the same sheriff. Same thing with Lakewood. Lakewood don't have a prostitution problem. They got the same laws because it's all LA County, it's all LA sheriff, and these two cities right next to us don't have the same problem. I don't understand that.
And those cities don't play when it comes to public safety either. They don't play. They don't take no for an answer. Their city officials don't take no. And one of the sad things I see with us here in Compton, I've heard city officials they'll repeat something like, let me give you an example. It's not with the prostitution, but when it comes to like the unsightly yards or where they've been dumping on private property, city officials say, well, it's private property, we can't go on there. That's absolutely not true. Everything is in that municipal code. It tells you the steps you take for the city to go on that private property and deal with it. Just like the prostitution, there are policies or codes and ordinance to deal with it. Granted, they're having a hard time, but I ain't got to let you stand on the street corner in my city. I don't have to let you do that.
Right.
You cannot loiter here. You can keep it moving. You can keep walking, but you can't stand here. Put your clothes on.
They pretty much stop at Imperial Highway, don't they? That means that Linwood don't have the same problem. Or do they cross over the Imperial Highway?
I know they've been going into Long Beach, going by the 91, but the Long Beach shut it down too.
Right. You're going to be confined to a certain area that's going to tolerate certain things. This new generation, this new era we're in right now, so many things go without consequences. And without consequences, it gives you the illusion of approval. Okay?
Yes.
Silence is approval. So when you can't do things in certain situations, you almost, if the younger girl seeing these older women out here and nobody doing it seems like an opportunity to make some quick money, which you're going to do, or you're going to perpetuate the situation and make it worse. Silence is approval. Can't have it. You got to do something.
And that's actually very dangerous because it can be a little more than quick money. I mean, you could wind up kidnapped somewhere and sold off or whatever. I mean, they slip you a drug or something like that. You wake up in another state or another country. That happens. And these girls are not educated on all that, the dangers of this, let alone, if they kill you right here. But your family may never see you again. and there's plenty of documentation of young ladies that are gone. They just disappeared. We don't know if they're dead or alive. So I mean, I think the city, number one, we really got to crack that municipal code and stick with it. There's most of our municipal code, the city of Compton does not enforce. So essentially, like you just said, it's in the message saying it's okay. When you see the mini bikes ripping and running up and down the street, that is 100% illegal. It's a violation of the penal code. It's a violation of our codes and ordinances. Now, let me tell you what the sheriff said. They said, well, we don't like to go out because then they'll run and then they might get hurt. I think that's the most ridiculous. It's actually insulting to say that. That's your job. That vehicle is not street legal. It's dangerous for those people to be on a mini bike on the street like that. And I've seen them flying around, they fell and got hurt. And then who ultimately ends up paying for that? Taxpayers do.
Right.
They're not riding with helmets, most of them. And if you're on your motorcycle without a helmet, they'll pull you over and give you a ticket. When you receive a head injury, a debilitating head injury, those cost hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to treat you. That comes out of taxpayers' pockets, So the citizens should be outraged as well and not take no for an answer. If that kid get hurt, it's going to cost me money, Right. Going to school, I mean, I shouldn't say it like that, but in the old days, we'd have to go on the school playground or whatever. Well, school don't want you hurt there either, but
come on.
But the cops was like, you got to go somewhere, but you can't be on the street.
You know what? When we were riding our mini bikes back in the day, if we had the nerve to get on the street and the cop caught us, they took our spark plugs.
Well, I know back in the day, Compton PD would take your bike and your mama had to come get it.
Right. Now, you know something? I'm about to tell you the true story. When I was promoting Skateland, I gave away a moped, cost me $1,000 for Christmas, right? It was a big promotion I did. The guy who won the moped did not register it. They caught him on the street with the unregistered moped and took it from him. But because it was my name was attached to the serial number, they contacted me. I went to the impound, got it back for like $40-$50 and resold it. That's how bad it was. Okay, and this is a moped with license plates and lights, the whole. Lights and brake lights and tail lights, the whole 9 yards. But because he didn't have any tags on it, they took it from him, and I got it back and resold it, got my money back. It was a beautiful deal. Yeah. But it just goes to show you how things have changed. I tell you, I got to say this before we get too deep. Being raised in Compton, going to all the different dances at St. Albert's. Chile, Campanella Park. That's how I got my first taste of doing parties. There was always a chaperone in the building, okay, that would not let us get too wild. And I remember at Doodles one time I got sweated by the cops who I was hiring to do the security, and he told me that what just happened. I could be arrested for contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Is that term even being used anymore? Because I see minors do so many crazy things in front of adults with no repercussions whatsoever. I just wonder, is that still? Oh, he's I'm talking to y'all now. He'll be back. I'm wondering if that term or that law is still on the books, that contributing to the delinquency of a minor is a crime. And for us to allow these kids to do what they want to without the repercussions, aren't we in some kind of violation?
Big time. And the kids will cuss you out and dare you say something about it.
Ain't that contributing to allowing a kid to cuss at an adult? Ain't that contributing to the delinquency of a minor?
So that's where the leather belt comes in,
Oh, see.
They don't utilize that anymore, but that works. There was kids today at my house riding mini bikes on the sidewalk, man. And I'm just trying to pull the little hair I got, trying to pull it out, man. I'm like, look, they don't get it.
I'm over off of Figueroa one day. I saw a mini bike pass by. I said, damn, he's going pretty fast. I turned around. It was about 50 of them.
Yeah.
50
and I
of
see them having little kids, like holding their little brother on the bike. Just completely unsafe. But, Lonzo, I think, too, and we had this conversation with the sheriffs as well. They had a thing over here at Dollar High. And let's face it, the sheriffs are different here in Compton compared to Malibu, or Calabasas or Rolling Hills. It would not go down like this in those cities.
Why is that? Could be tolerated or what?
I think it's a combination of things. Automatically, Compton is looked down upon, and I think it's even unintentional. I think some people they're not even cognizant of what they're doing. It's just that this is once they cross over that line, this cloud that's over them. This is the way you behave in Compton, or this is how you treat Compton. These are the rules in Compton. You know, I think it's just automatic. You know, and I'll give you an example. You know, when I was working, we would the last engine I was on is called a move-up engine. So you might be in Carson, you know, one part of the next you up in Duarte or Malibu or wherever, up in Calabasas, you move around all day. And my crew was white. And when we were up in Malibu, they had rolled the red carpet out to Miss Kowalski and all this stuff. And, you know, we in Rolling Hills, it's like helping an old lady walk across the street, man. And, you know, throw your coat over the mud puddles so her shoes don't get messed up. But when you come into Willowbrook and the hood, whole different demeanor. And I'm like, wait a minute, bro. We don't do that. We don't do that here. We treat everybody the same. Whether you in South Central, Compton, Malibu, Rolling Hills, Palos Verdes, everybody's the same. I don't play that.
Okay.
And they took offense sometimes because they're like, what do you mean? This is what they do. And that's the norm. That is the norm. That's the norm. I mean, you can just see it too. You observe it. When you move from one community to another, they just it's an automatic change. It's I don't even think they're cognizant of it, you know. So not to say they're intentionally, you know, having an attitude because they're I think it's just an automatic. That's part of the culture. That's the way they're taught, you know.
Wow.
And I believe that's the way it is here too. You know, one of the things when we had, I would say that Compton PD had a lot of issues, you know, at the end. But many of those officers were from in and around Compton. You know, they went to Centennial, Compton, Dominguez, et cetera, et cetera. They knew the community. I can tell you, I got grabbed by Compton PD, and they went and took me to my mama. I would be like, take me to jail. Don't take me to my mama. Please don't. And so you don't see that today. That's gone. And even, you know, I've improved relationships with the city of Compton and the school district. Case in point, again, I'll use another public safety issue. I met with our superintendent. This was way back. And we had this discussion. They now are offering emergency medical technician training in our Compton schools. Okay. You know, so now we're starting here. We're catching them in high school and preparing them to take these jobs with firefighter, police. We need police. We need peace officer training and starting high school. It's not bad to be a police officer. It's not a bad job. But you need some people that understand their clientele, you know, and not have the slave master mentality, you know. Okay. It's much more effective when you know who the dope dealers are, you know who the bad actors are when you're from that community. And they'll tend to respect you more. So, man, you can't do it here. You got to go in the alley or whatever.
Right. I'm going to see if I can get somebody to call in and check on you, Mr. Bowers. I'm going to open the phone lines up for a few minutes, folks. The phone number is 424-256-9211. You want to speak to Mr. Bowers, have a question for him. We got him for the next 15 minutes, folks. 424-256-9211. If you want to speak to Mr. Jonathan Bowers, the city councilman for the 3rd district here in the city of Compton, he has given us a plethora of information. I appreciate his energy. I respect his opinions. And that's what we have in this show today, folks. That's what we have in this show. We got to get Compton some better internet, though. We got to work on that. All right. He didn't drop it about 4 or 5 times, but he come right back. So, yes, folks, you're live with Lonzo, the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce. This is called the Compton Connection, folks. This is something I plan on doing on a regular basis, interviewing city council, heads of departments in the city of Compton. If they'll come on the show, I want to give you a chance to talk to them, hear from them one-on-one. Because it's one thing to see them at the city council meeting or at the town hall meetings, but when you can talk to somebody, hear them speak one-on-one for an hour, you can get a much better perspective of where they're coming from. And next time you see them in person, you may have another question for them. But right now, phone lines are open. 424-256-9211. And we are live with Jonathan Bowers right here on our show. Let me see here. I'm gonna call somebody. I ain't gonna wait for nobody. I'm gonna call somebody. That's how we gonna do this right here. He didn't answer the phone. Okay. I had another couple of people said that if they couldn't get through, to give them a buzz, and I'm going to do just that to make sure we have the capabilities up and running. 424-256-9211. You're live with Lonzo and Jonathan Bowers. We got about 15 minutes left in the show, and I want to make sure that we have a dual line of communication here. Let me see what we got here.
Hello, Lonzo.
Hello, Miss Harris. How you doing today?
I'm good.
Good. I just got a call coming in for Jonathan Bowers. I'm gonna call you right back. Okay.
All right.
All right. You're live on the Compton.
Gardena Cinema Farmers Market.
To accept.
You're live on the Compton Connection. Can I help you?
Good afternoon, Lonzo. I love you, brother.
Thank
the
you.
Godfather of West Coast hip hop.
Thank you. Can you hear him, Jonathan?
Yes.
Good. You
Mr. Bowers, good afternoon. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. How are you?
My name is Alberto Orozco. I am doing very well. You might have noticed me. I like to go to the city council meetings every week. I'm usually sitting on the left-hand side. How are you, Mr. Bowers?
I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging like a picture on the wall.
Wonderful. I have one and only one quick question for you, sir. Sir, if you had a magic wand and you could bring in big business to the city of Compton tomorrow, what would this magic wand do? And I will take my question off the air. Mr. Williams, thank you, sir. God bless you. Thank you so much for taking my phone call. Happy New Year. God bless you, Mr. Bowers. Thank you very much.
All right.
Bye-bye.
So the question is, what business would I bring in if I had a magic wand?
Magic wand.
It would be semiconductors and micropressors. I would bring in technology. That's what I would do if I had a magic wand.
Okay.
That would start tomorrow. I would make an area of Compton a small Silicon Valley, as that is the future. If anybody kind of pays attention to the struggle that's happening right now between Taiwan and China, Taiwan is the largest producer of microprocessor semiconductors. This will make your computers and stuff work and able to launch missiles, put a guided system on missiles and stuff like that. Taiwan is the largest in the world, and China wants to control Taiwan again. That could not be good. That might not be a good thing for the United States. But you have cities like, I actually spoke with the mayor of, Irvine. Irvine is on a mad push to bring technology to Irvine. And her statement was not letting it get to San Diego. They want Irvine to be the Silicon Valley of here.
Okay.
Because that is the future. I mean, you're talking, it's going to create jobs. It can create jobs for everybody, from, starting pay at 50,000 on up, depending on your training, education, and what have you. And this type of training, you can start in high school.
Okay.
It's not going anywhere, and this is not to discount other businesses, but definitely this is going to be out in front. And again, Compton, we got to be on the world stage.
That's your magic wand, but I'm going to call my other citizen back right quick before we got the call in. Let me see if I can get her to, she said she may have a few questions for you.
Hi, Alonzo.
Hi, good morning. Good afternoon, Ms. Harris. You are live with Jonathan Bowers and yours truly. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Now, you live in the 3rd District.
Yes, I do. And I was getting ready to call in. How are you, Mr. Bowers?
Hey, Ms. Harris, that's one of my favorites. I'm good. How are you doing, Ms. Harris?
I'm good. First of all, I want to thank you both for having this on tonight. And I hope a lot of people are listening. But my question is, how do you intend to get the block clubs involved in that emergency response preparation that is coming up next month?
So I'm going to be reaching out to all the block clubs. I'm going to grab that list and I'm going to contact each and every one of those block clubs. And I want to send out multiple communiques to them, you know, to really stir them up and get their blood flowing to get in here and participate in this, you know. And I mean, not just a one-time thing, but continuous. This has to grow. You know, we have to bring in more people in the city, businesses as well. Everybody has to be a part of this. But the block clubs can do so much, you know, with respect to emergency preparedness and so on and so forth. They're just spreading the word. So that's the short version, Ms. Harris. Did that answer your question?
Yes, yes. And I had another question.
Go for it.
Okay.
As you know, I go throughout the city cleaning up, and there are a lot of businesses that aren't doing their part to keep their properties clean.
Yes.
What does the city plan to do about that?
So those are actually municipal code violations, and literally as we speak, in conversation / communication with the city manager, addressing that literally as we speak. You know, it is a hot topic, and you're not the first person to bring this to my attention, but it's been an issue. So the good thing, Ms. Harris, is our city manager is very aware. You know, I do speak to the employees, you know, we're not supposed to, and they get a little offended when you kind of point out their deficiencies coming from the council, but the city manager can, and I think he's very, what should I say, savvy at presenting to them, and they feel less offended, if you will. At least it's not obvious. So, but he does have a plan and an approach to deal with that, Ms. Harris. So it's not gone unnoticed, believe me.
Okay. And then one more thing, as a retired public servant, what is the city of Compton doing to help with the morale and to boost the salaries of the employees? Some of the structures that they work in are not conducive to a healthy environment, mental health, all of that. What is the city doing to help change that?
So we've done a fee survey and what have you. So the salaries are increasing for multiple positions. I mean, you can't just increase the salary. We have to do a study on it, you know, in comparison with other, you know, surrounding cities and what have you. So that's actually in motion. And some positions have already, their salaries have been increased and what have you. So it's a systematic process that is occurring as we speak. The condition of the facilities, our public works yard, just to be precise or exact, our public works yard, there shouldn't be any human beings over there, period. No, really, they have, it's worse than bad. I mean, they have buildings over there that really should be condemned. They have hazardous materials over there. It's just a nightmare. But no one has addressed it. It's just out of sight, out of mind, so to speak. And the employees that complained about it just fell on deaf ears. Now, some employees actually contacted me, and I tell anybody, contact me. You know, I won't tell on you. I went over to the city yard myself, and I'm just appalled that it got to that point, because you're talking Cal OSHA issues and things like that. And it's not fair to the employee, but it puts the city liable. And again, you're talking health, money, etc. It's just damaging, you know, morale. It's just not a happy place to come to work. It's filthy. You know, the buildings, just the appearance, the aesthetics depress you. And that's not good, you know, for our employees. We have to take better care of our employees. But anyway, Ms. Harris, that's another one that's number one on the list with the city manager. And so actually they were slated to tear that down. This was a few years ago, but money vanished and we kind of have to start from square one, you know, but they knew that it was bad and somehow things just went sideways. But it's back under the spotlight again. It's back it's on the front burner. And it's something that, I mean, we kind of have the gun on us now because we messed up so bad and let it get away. You can't ignore it. You know, there's some serious problems over there. On a more positive note, other facilities, like our fire station, what have you, there's been quite a bit of money allocated for capital improvements of those buildings. The parks, there's been some money approved for the park. I don't know, I don't have the dollar amount off the top of my head now, but for example, you know, Tucker Park needs a makeover. I would like to see that whole building torn down and a new community center over there. I don't know how that's going to go yet, but there is some money to help give it a facelift. Now, Tragnew Park, for example, it doesn't have any restrooms. I have submitted a request, if you will, for public restrooms, and they have these really nice modern restrooms. They're self-cleaning, they're monitored, and what have you. I actually got the idea from the city of Monrovia. They have some at their parks, so it's not like these units you bring in and set it down. They're already prefabricated, if you will, so you don't have to build anything, and they're very cost effective. So those are some of the things coming down the pipe. So it's kind of a twofold. We are looking at the public's morale, if you will, and there's a concern. You know, our parks need to be improved. They need to be better than that. With respect to the employees at the parks, like Braille McDonald, Kelly Park, Dollar Hyde, just improving security and whatnot for them. I was at Dollar Hyde. All of our parks have camera systems, but we just don't know the status. I know some of them don't work. We're not even sure who's monitoring them. So that's a safety issue for the employees, and they shouldn't have to work under those conditions. I was at Dollar Hyde Center, and I actually tested the emergency panic button, and I'm standing right under the camera. I pushed the button and no one ever responded. Nothing. So Ms. Harris, anyway, to answer your question, we're working on that. It is on the list. You know, there's like 10 things that are a priority right now, but believe me, it's not it's not swept under the rug. You know, and part of those things that you're talking about, Ms. Harris, actually fall under some of these audit findings. And I was stating earlier, this has to be cleared up. A lot of this has to be cleared up by the end of this year. We don't have a lot of time. So
yeah,
we got to get it together.
Okay.
and one more question, Alonzo, I know you got to go.
Okay.
But one more, well, two more. The city's public relations firm, what do they do? And then lastly, the grants department. What part do they play in all of this? I thought the grants department's job was to get grant monies to fund some of the different things that need to be taken care of.
It is, Ms. Harris. You're absolutely right. That was another audit finding, our grants department.
Okay.
So that's being reworked as well. There's a makeover happening in that department because the Inspector General actually did an audit and we failed.
Wow.
And even that being said, and again, I'll go back, you know, with respect to the audit fund. I know we don't have a lot of time here, but when those things are out of order, it just holds up, it blocks us, it prohibits us from getting federal fundings and state fundings and stuff like that when they see you're not managing these departments correctly. And these are public funds you're dealing with. These departments, like our grants department, you know, there's monies for block clubs, so on and so forth. We should have ring cameras for all of our block clubs by now. We know that's a crime deterrent, but the people in that department are not, I don't know, we're not seeing out of the same window, you know.
All right. You know, we're almost out of time, folks. Mr. Bowers, where can they find you at if you want to be found?
You know, my door is open to everybody. Doesn't matter which district you're in. If you're in the city of Compton, my office phone, you can it's 310-605-5537, and email me, jbowers@comptoncity.org.
Quick question.
You'll get a response.
Quick question. We
Yes,
kind of touched on it earlier. Would you be open to tiny homes in the city of Compton? Yes, sir. Quick answer. Yes. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That was from a direct question from Joey King. He texted me that question. Yes, we would welcome a tiny home in the city of Compton. Folks, thank you for watching. Sorry for the interruption, but we had a great show. Got a lot of information out. We're looking to do it again with somebody else from the city. Mr. Bowers, thank you for coming through.
Thank you, and please call me anytime.
You got it. We're out of here, folks. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.